to another exciting episode of Is It Really Reality? Guys, we got a great show for you today. Cry, my boy. Time to celebrate, Cry. Everything is working in your favor, Cry. Cry, this is what I've been trying to tell these guys for the longest, Cryer. Now they're seeing that you're not the bad guy, Cryer, and I love it. But, these guys, guys, you got to really pay attention to stuff when you're diving in and you're going at somebody. You can't just listen to the words that's coming out people's mouth. You got to follow the actions, guys. You got to follow their actions. Because if you don't, you'll be all over the place. You'll be listening to this person talk. And then you'll listen to him and you'll say, okay, that sounds like it's about right. Right? And then you go do a story, guys. And then you come back and say, you hear somebody else and say, that sounds right. So you be all over the place. You got to look at the person and judge them for what you see coming out that person, not what anyone's saying, guys. And that's why I told you guys a long time ago, I was like, man, you guys got to pay attention. You're sitting over here taking up for this psycho when he's not making any sense. A lot of people was coming at Cryer, man, and didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, stories and guys, people was bigging him up and saying, yeah, get him. But at the end of the day, when I came in and I created my channel, I was like, man, I have to step in and say something because I don't understand why they're bashing this guy. He gave all these guys YouTube careers, man. And I know his son Damon was like, man, you see, when I deal with people, I get paid off all of them. But the kindness of Cryer Heart, he took, you guys under his wing, didn't ask for any money. You guys went on to make your boyfriends famous and everything, man. Cry didn't get anything out of that. So when I came to YouTube, guys, and I see how people was bashing him, I'm like, man, this guy hasn't did anything wrong. What did he do? What do you guys need him to explain? And that's the prime example, guys, when people just come on and they run with a story and don't know the meaning behind the story. You got to watch the people actions. I told you guys, I say when I first came on, I told you, man. I told you just how this stuff is working out, man. How it's going to go down. I told you guys because I didn't see him as the bad guy. I've been watching Cryer for the longest, man, before all this mess came in his life. So I know Cryer Heart. I know he's a genuine person. You got to think about it, guys. Cryer would never do harm to any of these people like they do to him, guys. I mean, they tried to assassinate his character. They tried to go. I mean, I never seen people try to attack someone that, help you out. I mean, where's the attacks coming from? Because when I looked at this situation, guys, I was like, why are they attacking him? Look around. You can see who the problem is. This guy came on, right? And he built this own thing. See, a lot of these guys, they come on, man, and they try to build these platforms off Cryer name, and because they look at Cryer and say, hey, this guy is, he's not the Prince family. He's not, trying to, have big production and all that stuff in every video. Cryer come on and just be him, and people love. One thing about it, guys, you got to look at it. People love Cryer for Cryer being Cryer. That's it. Prince family gave him a little jump. But he had to keep them coming, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you, guys. These guys are not talented. Listen, some people could come on, man, on YouTube, and they can do nothing. And people love their person. Cryer's one of these people. Now, Cryer can't do any, in a lot of people's eyes, Cryer can't do no wrong, man. Because they just love Cryer. Cryer come on, I don't care what he do. He can be boring. He can do a prank with the Prince family. It's like some people have a natural gift. Like, guys, I'm going to be straight honest with you, guys. I don't know why I like Cryer, but it's something about Cryer that's entertaining. Anything he do, and some people are just built like that, guys. You ever listen to a singer and you say, man, after I analyze this guy's voice, or her voice. She can't really sing. But it's just something about that person that really entertains me. You know? Guys, you gotta think about it, guys. Michael Jackson, he was a good entertainer. He wasn't the best singer. If you break down his thing, but it was just, you know, Mike, his moves, he made up a lot of his own moves, guys. And you're like, man, I don't know what he's doing. He's sliding across the stage. I've never seen that before, but it looked good on him, man. I don't know. It's just every move he make, man, it just looked good on him, man. You know? And some people has that gift. Then you got other people you see, you're like, man, I can't stand this person. Soon as you watch him, you're like, instantly, no, I can't take this person. But Crier was one of those guys. I looked at him like, Crier, and I said it before, you remind me of the simple things in life that we forget, Crier. You reminded me that, man. And, I don't care what, anyone say, man, Crier. I said it in previous videos, and you know I did, Crier. Erica is the love of your life. We always get one in our life, Crier. She might drive us up the wall. She might drive us up the wall, or she might not. But either way, it's always that one, no matter what they do, we're gonna stay falling in love with, man. It's just something about that person. Everybody got that one that come through their life, even if you're not with that person now. You're like, man, it's just something about that person. This person is all messed up in all the wrong ways, but it's just something about this person I love. And everybody gets somebody like that, man. But listen, man. Crier, you got to protect your heart, and I keep telling you that all the time, man. You know, you got to, man. And it's not about, you bringing someone on YouTube or on your channel. You should be able to do that, Crier, because that's what your YouTube channel is about. Bringing people on, and, letting people see your life, There's nothing wrong with that, Crier. I think you should keep doing it. But listen to me, Crier. When you do it this time, bud, make sure this is the one. That's all I'm saying, Crier. You can't make sure they're the one after a week. And listen, guys, most fake YouTube couples don't work, guys. Just look around. Most of the ones that we see that's working their rear, and you know they're rear because the chick is constantly popping out babies from, the guy. So you know there's not a fake YouTube relationship. You can't fake a relationship, guys. It's not going to go well in the end. You can't. Because at the end of that relationship, somebody is going to come out and say, we're just doing it for YouTube. Whatever, man. You don't believe a lot of this stuff that's going on, man. Come on, man. And listen, guys. Let's get into, I want to double back on something Crier said, Crier, you said about, you can say what you want to say about people. They can't. I agree with you, Crier. I agree with you, man. Because, listen, guys, people got to stop running around. Listen, when you talk about this lawsuit stuff, because, listen, guys, when you put yourself in a public position, listen to me, guys, when you put yourself in a public position, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Because once you put yourself out there publicly, you're saying to the world, even if you're not saying it, out your mouth, but you're saying to the world, I'm putting myself out here to be judged, criticized, and everything. That's why a lot of people say, hey, man, I would never want to be famous, man. I don't want what come with this, too much attention, too many people, paparazzi. I can't take that type of attention. You got to know what you're getting into before you get into it. You got to know what you're getting into before you get into it. Mucker, you can't come on here, talk about suing people when you put yourself out there publicly. Now, slandering your name is a different thing. Now, you can sue someone for that. Because, listen, guys, if they come on here, right, and Crier, I know you said don't use their name. But they put their names out here publicly. You know? Long as you're not slandering people, like if you put out a video about something and I come back and I do a reaction on it, whether I disagree or not, long as I'm not slandering you. For example, guys, Toya come on and she talk nice. And I say, all this nice stuff, that's not slandering you. That's my opinion. I said you're faking nice. That's not slandering you. I didn't call you out your name. So you guys need to really know. And I know you guys weren't talking to me, but I'm just saying, for example, I know you guys weren't talking to me about no Sue or nothing, but I'm just saying the stuff that you're saying out your mouth. You got to be built for this stuff. You got to be built for this stuff. So when you set yourself up to be in this position, in a public position, you're putting stuff out there, people are going to criticize. People are going to have their opinion, man. They're going to have their opinion. So if you run to any lawyer, I know you're not talking to me, because you run any lawyer on me, they're going to like, man, you really want to sue this guy? This guy is hilarious. This guy is funny. I can't even take him serious enough to even file a lawsuit on him. The judge is going to look at you like, man, you're going to sue a guy with a funny voice? Man, come on. This guy is a comedian, man. Not going to come over here with that stuff. And you be trying to tell him, I'm just telling you like it is, But you can't keep running around talking what you're going to do to people when you're putting yourself out there publicly. Now? And Crier, listen now, Crier. And Crier, listen, I love the things you come on YouTube and do. Because one thing you guys got to understand, and that's what I always respected about Crier. Crier got 500 or something. I know you guys hear me say that all the time. And not all about that, but Crier is at a level where he don't have to acknowledge any of you, little YouTuber, any of us. He don't have to acknowledge nobody. He don't have to, even open his mouth. Because his, channel is constantly growing, guys. So when he come down, it's because he's a real person, guys. You're not going to see YouTubers with this many subscribers step down, shout out, and listen to your channel, man. You guys got to respect Crier for that, man. And I'm not trying to toot Crier horn, because Crier know Crier. I'm not trying to toot your horn now. You know that I would get on you in a minute. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And I don't see no wrong this guy did. And everybody that was against him and now on his side now, I respect that, because you guys realize that he's not the problem. What did this guy do other than give everybody you guys are talking about a career? And you guys got to think about it. If it wasn't for Crier, man, a lot of people wouldn't be eating. A lot of people wouldn't get... Because, see, the thing about it, man, I had to sit and think about it, guys. We get on Crier about a lot of stuff. But Crier, I'm starting to, realize, the things you do is a good work, man. Even when you bring the wrong people in. Because Crier, when your drama come and everything around you come, Crier, it may look bad, but a lot of people is casting checks off you, Crier. And I know you know that. I know you know that. So, guys, we got to, look at stuff for what it is, man. Everybody is eating up this one guy. Damon would have never went for this. Because Damon is more of a businessman. Crier is kind of, deal with his heart, man. And I like that about Crier. Like I said before, it's the simple things in life we forget. And Crier didn't never. He could have got, up there with his Prince family and stuff and been like, hey, I got 500,000 subscribers. Hey, I don't even see you guys. Because a lot of these guys be on here, 2-3 million subscribers, and they play like they don't see anybody. But it's all lies. It's all lies. How do you think anyone make content? They got to go on YouTube and watch stuff and see who's talking about what and know what's going on in order to even make content. Because they got to know if they're going in the right direction. So they listen to all the T channels and all that stuff there. But see, guys, one thing a lot of these new YouTubers don't understand is, you got to work and to wait for it. You got to want the T channels to come. When they stop talking, man, I swear, man, this stuff get ghost. This stuff get ghost. When the T channels are the one. And see, the thing about Crier, man, I know Crier understand that. That's why Crier stooped down. See, Crier's going to be bigger than what he is. And I'm not tooting his horn. I'm just looking at the person he is. No matter how big Crier get, he still take time to acknowledge the little guy. And this is not tooting his own horn. This is not saying this to make Crier shout out the little guy. This is stuff Crier been doing. You can look and see. But Crier, like I said, protect your heart. We know you love Erica, man. I told you that, man. I said that is the love of your life. Crier, you might as well stop it. You guys might as well stop it. I don't care what it is. And I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Let me speak on this real quick. Let me speak on this, guys. Now, Crier, I don't care what you say, bud. I don't care what you say. And I want you to listen to me, Crier, because I don't care what you're saying. Crier, is only one thing you're mad about. That Erica's laying in that hospital bed and she's having a baby by another guy. That's hurtful, Crier. Because, Crier, I caught something what you said that no one else caught, Crier. I caught something you said. You said while I was over here wasting time, I messed up. Because you was insinuating that Erica got away, she got pregnant within the time you was over here, playing around with Toya. I heard it, Crier. You heard about that, Crier. You feel like in your heart that if you wouldn't have been over there playing, when you know Erica is the love of your life, and I don't care what anyone say, this guy loved this girl unconditionally. And the guy stick around after this type of stuff, he has to. And I know this. You was over there with her, and you feel like you let Erica get away, man. You let her go out there and run, and run around and do what she's doing, and she end up getting pregnant, man, and you're faulting yourself, Crier. You guys don't understand. Crier is really faulting himself, man. The guy is hurting, man. Crier want to be there, but Crier, remember when I told you, I say, Crier, you got to protect your heart. Because everything is good now, but when she goes and land up in that hospital bed and getting ready to have that baby from that guy, Crier, is going to be a different situation. It's going to tear you apart. And Crier, now we're here. Well, I told you months ago, Crier. Hey, Crier, one thing I like about you, Crier, you're a stand-up guy. And you don't take nothing for granted, man. People say stuff, you listen. You listen. And you admit it. You say you're wrong, and you'll come on and you admit, yeah, I take advice for you guys. That's the one thing I like about Crier. He's real. Crier is real, man. He could have been, listen, it's some people, right? You gotta think about it. Man, if this was Psycho and the Prince family was it, man, Psycho would be coming on YouTube pissing on people, man. Straight up, man. Because some people take, things they got, for granted. They'll take it and dog people out. Yeah, I'm the Prince family dad. Yeah, Crier never did that one time, and he could have. He could have used people all around the globe. Because, so many people want to get next to the Prince family, but Crier remained humble. He remained humble. See, this is the thing, guys. I judge a person for what they show me. Not what other people saying about them out their mouth. You could have told me. Listen, when I came to YouTube, guys, to talk about Crier, I told you it was because of one thing. People were talking about it. Listen, guys, I could tell you about Crier, everything about Crier, because that's how long I've been watching Crier. And I got on Crier through the Prince family, guys. I was watching the Prince family. And listen, guys, Prince family, I love you. But since I've been on Crier, I haven't watched you guys since. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not going to lie. So a lot of people can say, hey, he ain't going to connect to Prince. No, guys. When I went over to Crier, hey, some people going to get mad. I stopped watching the Prince family. I was a Crier fan. I said no more Prince family. And I didn't say it like that. It's just Crier, he was more, closer to, real life. Put it like that, man. Crier was closer to real life, and I was looking at this guy. I'm like, man, this guy have all this luxury around him, and he don't even care. Come on, Crier could have faked it till he made it, man. Crier could have went over there and started borrowing diamond cars and driving around in Ferraris and making you guys believe this. But Crier said, no, I'm going to keep it simple. And that's what he did. Any of these other guys would have been using Damon up. Because that's their son. Man, they'd have been driving his cars and trying to look good like him and everything. Crier kept it simple. And that's what made me stay with Crier. So guys, we got to look at things for what it is, man. When you're doing your podcast, your T channels, and all this stuff here, man. Listen, you can't be a crowd chaser. You can't just, sometimes when all the crowd is over here and they're saying one thing, you gotta dissect it yourself and stay over here in this corner by yourself. Because when you're around a bunch of people dissecting the same thing, they start thinking for you. You see what I'm saying? You stop thinking for yourself, man. Now, we should have seen this stuff months ago, man, that this guy wasn't a bad guy. A lot of you guys dragged this guy through the mud. But you gotta understand one thing. Most of these guys, even Crier, all the Crier enemies is getting a check because of Crier. All of the Crier enemies, even if you didn't like Crier and you were siding with somebody that turned against them, it was you getting a check off Crier still. Guys, I'm just glad everybody's waking up and realizing what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because Crier been here before all these guys. He never played on us. He never used us. You got these guys putting up cash apps now. No, but you're supposed to have all this money and stuff. That's why I tell you guys, a lot of this stuff they're doing because there's nothing coming in, man, like that. And they're trying to live above their means to make Crier and Erica look bad and stuff. But Crier, you and Erica just sit back, man. This stuff is going to crash down to the ground. Watch what I'm telling you, man. Watch what I'm telling you. And listen, to those other guys over there, let me tell you something, man. When you come on and you try to use God as a weapon, he strike back. You sat there and you talk all this godly stuff, but you're not living by his name, man. And he don't like that. You can't use God. He would slap it right in your face. You gotta think about it. You come on Bible study trying to be perfect, and people still don't like you guys. What is that telling you, man? You need to get yourself right. I think you guys need to call it quits. Say, hey, man, we're going our separate ways because this is not right. I don't care how much you do everything. I do not care. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If this guy is anything like I think he is, and I could be wrong, because we think a lot of things about people, they turn out to be different. But if this guy anything I think he is, he's going to start trying to, deal with his baby when it comes. And Crier, listen to me now. I want to say this ahead of time, Crier, because, Crier, we don't need two people in this situation going crazy, because she's already, his fiance is already going to be going crazy. So listen to me, Crier. You and Erica, you guys are going to be all right. But I want you to know this. You got to understand Erica now. This is this guy, baby, no matter how much you talk bad about him, because it might come to a conclusion that he has to be around, Crier. So I want you to go ahead and start building your heart for that, man. And just know that. Don't look like the bad guy putting her in a position and saying, oh, you said you're not going to deal with this guy. He wasn't there at the hospital and stuff like that. But every kid deserves to know their dad, Crier. Now, he's not no criminal, no bad guy that did things to kids and stuff like that, Crier. And I don't think Mucker's that. I don't think he's that. Let the guy, just let him see him and Because it's gonna happen, Crier. Everything I tell you, Crier, it always falls out, and I always tell you one thing, Crier. Protect your heart, man. You got to. Because this stuff is gonna play out just like I tell you. It's already doing it, Crier. Everything I tell you. But if you pay attention, Crier, and you protect your heart, guess what? When it comes to you, you will already be over it. So that's what I want you to do, Crier. Everything I just told you what's going to happen, start moping now, Crier. You know, that's what I do. When I know something is going some way, I say, hey, let me start moping now. So when it do hit the fan, I'ma already be over it. I already be over it, Crier. So that's what you need to do, bud. That's what you need to do. Hey, guys. Just had to bring you guys that, you know, this is an ongoing story, guys. This is an ongoing story. Like, share, subscribe. Because it's only going to get better, guys. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here and rock and roll. We'll be right back soon as we get some more stuff, because this stuff is never going to stop. But Crier, protect your heart, bud. Until next time, goodbye.